everyone. Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Karen. Today we are looking at part 1 of Niall Horan, Finding His Own Direction. Wow, I guess he has only one direction to go.
What's
right?
that?
One direction, the solo career,
Yes,
right?
the one direction he wants to go is straight to the top of the charts. Niall Horan, of course, was a member of the very popular boy band One Direction, but they've all gone their own directions recently.
That's right. Are they all very famous now? Are they all very successful, Mike?
I think they're all working in music, but I don't know about how much some of them are. I remember Zayn. Remember Zayn?
Okay.
He was the first one to leave One Direction, and I can't really think of many songs that he's done recently.
But Harry Styles, I remember. Harry Styles is very successful.
He's one of the biggest pop stars in the world right now on
That's
his
right.
own. That's right. And Niall Horan, I guess he's kind of in the middle of the pack. You know, he's had some success, maybe not as much as Harry Styles.
But I think he's definitely getting there, right?
Absolutely. And of course, we should also mention Lewis Tomlinson and Liam, whose last name escapes me right now. But they've all done some interesting things since they've left One Direction. And the other thing we have to remember is these guys were boys when they started in a group. Now
That's
they're
right.
men, and I think some of them have settled down, had kids, done other things in life. And that is part of finding your own direction.
That's definitely right.
Deciding what you want to do with your life as you look to the future. So let's look to Niall Horan's future as he finds his own direction outside of One Direction. I guess he has many directions now.
That's true.
There you go. Let's check out the article.
Let's go.
What do you do after being in one of the biggest pop bands in modern history? When the world-famous One Direction stopped performing together in 2016, singer Niall Horan faced this very question. Horan was born in Ireland in 1993. He was clearly blessed with musical talent from a young age. His family noticed this early on, and one time, his aunt even mistook his singing for the car's radio during a family road trip. As a child, Horan didn't want to let his talent go to waste. He learned guitar by watching YouTube videos at age 11 and felt he was ready for his big shot at age 16.
All right, so let's find out what Niall Horan has been doing, especially since he left One Direction. It's going to be an interesting story.
And I'm pretty sure he's quite successful, and that is why we are learning about him right now, right?
I remember seeing some of his music videos on TV.
Okay, well, let's get started. What do you do after being in one of the biggest pop bands in modern history? And that is One Direction, right? Pop bands, pop meaning popular, right? So when the world-famous One Direction stopped performing together in 2016, singer Niall Horan faced this very question.
Wow, was it really 2016 when One Direction stopped performing together? That is a long time ago, but
Quite
it
a few
seems
years.
like just a short. But then again, we did have COVID kind of to interrupt things there. So it has been a while. Well, let's find out about his story, and then we'll find out about what he plans for the future. It says Horan was born in Ireland in 1993. Very interesting. So some of the One Direction members come from England, some from Ireland. It's a bit of an international group. And he was clearly blessed with musical talent from a young age. I think that's probably something you can say about every member of One Direction, the way they sing, the way they dance. They're clearly very talented. And when someone has talent, when they're born with special gifts, we might say they are blessed. Now, to bless, this verb, it has a few different meanings. If you go to a church or a temple, they might bless you, like a holy person might say prayers to give you strength or protection or something like that. You might say, bless me when you sneeze or something as a way of sort of protecting you from evil forces or sickness. But here, we're really just meaning they were sort of born with a special talent or some special gift that not all people can have. Now, we're all blessed with different talents, but you might be blessed with a certain special talent for art or for music or for singing or whatever, sports, being a very good athlete as well. Here's an example. Harriet was blessed with a beautiful singing voice. So even as a young kid, without taking any classes, she just had a natural talent for singing, as if she was blessed by God or something.
That's right. It's something that you are born with, right? So that is what talent means, and that is a noun. Like you mentioned, some people might have a talent in music, so they're just naturally good at it. And some people, maybe they don't have the talent and they cannot really sing very well. It's very hard for them to play any musical instruments, but don't give up though. Even if you don't have the talent, if you try very hard, you still might succeed.
Absolutely.
So in our example sentence, it says, his talent for playing the guitar was obvious from an early age. So he can probably play something really, really difficult after only, learning for a short period of time.
There you go. Someone who can just teach themselves the guitar when other people might need to take classes, for example.
Exactly. Maybe learn it on YouTube
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Okay, well, let's continue. His family noticed this early on, and one time his aunt even mistook his singing for the car's radio during a family road trip. Oh, so his aunt mistook him for the radio, like someone singing on the radio. Mistook. That means she got confused. She thought it was somebody singing from the radio.
That's right.
Because he sounded so good.
He sounded so professional, like he was a pop star himself, but he was still just a kid. It says, as a child, Horan didn't want to let his talent go to waste. Good for him. So yeah, some people are born with talent and then don't really practice or don't really develop it, and that's okay. But if you want to be one of the best, of course, it's better if you keep working at it, even if you are blessed with this talent. And he was one of those kids. He was good at singing, but he wanted to be better. So he learned guitar by watching YouTube videos at age 11 and felt he was ready for his big shot at age 16. Still very young, still in school. But at that age, he was probably going to talent competitions or sending recordings to record companies to try to get the interest from the music business. He obviously was born with talent and ambition, and it turns out all his hard work paid off in the end, even actually just a few years after he was 16. So
that's right. And so he was really, really confident too, right? At that age, he was confident enough to promote himself.
Yep, that's absolutely true. And sometimes that's what you need to do. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back to hear more about this very talented young singer.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。同学们，想象一下，如果你是一个世界知名流行乐团的成员，那当这个乐团解散后，你会做什么呢？我们这一次要介绍的人物是 Niall Horan， 奈尔·霍兰，他是 One Direction 一世代的成员之一。那这个超受欢迎的流行乐团就在2016年停止一起演出了。我们现在就来看看 Niall Horan 是如何找到自己的方向，走出自己的路。好 ，Horan 他是在1993年出生于爱尔兰，那从小就拥有音乐天赋。有一次啊，他们全家一起公路旅行的时候，他阿姨甚至把他的歌声误认为是从这个汽车收音机里面放出来的声音。那么 Horan 他不想要让自己的天赋白白被浪费掉，他11岁的时候呢，就有自己看 YouTube 影片来学吉他。16岁的时候，他觉得自己已经准备好要迎接一个重要的机会咯。好，来看单字 bless。bless 当动词，它表示祝福、赐福。那在文中则是表达说使有幸得到的意思。Be blessed with 名词就可以表达有幸拥有什么、享有什么的。好，再看到 talent。它是名词，表示天资、天赋。当这个意思是不可数名词，那它也可以当可数名词来表达有才华的人或团体、艺人啊、明星等等。好，这边4个重点，我们进入文法时间。 好，我们来看第一个重点是 after 当连接词表示在点点点之后，它所连接的子句主词是跟主要子句主词相同的话，那 after 后面那个主词就可以省略，再把动词改成动词 ing。所以以句型来看，就是主词加动词 after 主词加动词，可以简化成主词加动词 after 动词 ing。例如 Ed moved out。After he graduated from college， 可以把它简化成 Ed moved out after graduating from college。Ed 大学毕业后就搬出去了。那第二重点是 stop 的用法 ，stop 之后可以接不定词或动名词，但意思不一样哦。Stop to 加原形动词是表达停下来去做另一件事。例如 Phil stopped to check his phone。Phil 停下来看手机。那么 stop 加动词 ing 则是停止正在做的事，例如 Phil stopped checking his phone。Phil 停止看手机。好，再来第三个重点是 mistake A for B， 表示错把 A 当成 B， 将 A 误认成 B。那么动词 mistake 在这边是当及物用，去表达弄错的意思。它的三态是 mistake、mistook、mistaken。例如 ，The teacher mistook her for her twin sister。那位老师把她误认成她的双胞胎妹妹了。那么第四个重点则是 let 加受词加原形动词，是表达让、允许点点点做某事。let 是使役动词，它的三态同形哦。那受词之后记得是接原形动词。例如 ，They didn't let him speak。他们不让他发言。好，介绍课文中。
In 2010, he appeared on the British singing show The X Factor. However, the judges felt that he was not quite ready to be a solo star. Instead, they asked him to form a group with 4 other male contestants. That group became the now legendary One Direction, which sold millions of records and performed 4 world tours before the band broke up in 2016.
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we were learning about this famous singer, famous artist called Niall Horan, right? And we all know him from the famous pop band One Direction.
Absolutely. Born with a lot of talent, he worked to make himself even better, learning guitar by himself, singing along to YouTube videos, and also entering talent competitions. Now, the tricky part is to go from being a talented unknown to getting the attention from someone in the music business who can take you to that next step to become a star. So what he did was something a lot of people have done. He entered a talent show on television. In 2010, he appeared on the British singing show, The X Factor.
I love that show. I always watch
Very fun
it.
show, yeah. It's full of great singers and musicians, but also I think they have comedians, they have magicians, jugglers, kind of like American Idol or a singing contest, but
like a talent show.
Many other talents are also featured. However, remember, he was still young at this point. However, the judges felt that he was not quite ready to be a solo star. So yeah, that time it was him all alone. He wasn't a member of One Direction. He was a solo star, and maybe the judges at the time thought he needed a bit more training, a bit more practice to become a really good pop singer. So instead, they asked him to form a group with 4 other male contestants. And if you're a fan of One Direction, I bet you can guess the names of the other 4 members.
That's right.
Yes.
And then we have this word here, form. They said to form a band,
Form
right?
a band, form a group.
Yeah, that's right. And then that is a verb. So when you form a band or form a group, basically you're putting these people together to make a band or make a group. So for example, students need to form groups for the class project. So those people need to come together, maybe 2 people in a group or 3 people in a group, and they need to do a class project together, right?
There you go. Form a team, form a company, anything that has lots of people working together. When it starts, when it begins, when it's born, it is formed. And of course, we're talking about male singers. All the members of One Direction are male. That means they're men, they're boys. They're not women or girls. Basically, that's what we talk about when we say male. This isn't a word we would use in sort of normal conversation. Oh, I met a really interesting male person today. No, you might say an interesting man or boy. But when we're talking about just the differences in people, male, female is one of the ways that we might separate. Here's Todd. Todd is the only male in his department. So I guess all the other people in the department are women.
That's right. Okay, well, let's continue learning about Niall Horan.
Niall Horan, yes.
That group became the now legendary One Direction, which sold millions of records and performed 4 world tours before the band broke up in 2016. Wow, they sold millions of records, right? So a record, that's a noun. So basically, it's like a music recording, right? They can record or store many, many songs on their record. So for example, the singer's new record will be in stores next week. And I'm sure a lot of people will want to buy the record.
Absolutely. Records can be one recording that's often a round black disc, but we also use this term to kind of talk about a collection of songs. I'm sure most of the people who bought the One Direction albums didn't buy an actual black round record that you play. They probably downloaded it, maybe got a CD or something like that. But if it's a collection of songs put out at one time by a singer or group, we can talk about a record. For example, Taylor Swift has had a really big record this year, and she's touring on that record as well.
Very popular and famous.
Very popular record. Yes. All right. That's all the time we have to spend with Niall Horan today, but please come back tomorrow, which will be even more interesting. We'll find out about what he's been doing since One Direction broke up and his plans for the future.
I can't wait. Well, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.
刚刚说 Niall Horan 在16岁的时候，觉得自己已经准备好要迎接一个重要的机会了。那么在2010年，他在英国歌唱节目 The X Factor。X 因素当中来演出，评审们认为他还没有准备好成为独唱明星，而是要他去跟其他4名男性参赛者组成一个团体。那个乐团呢，就成了现在家喻户晓的1世代 One Direction。那这个乐团在2016年解散前有卖出数百万张的唱片，还有进行4次的世界巡回演出哦。我们来看单字 form。form 当动词就可以表达组成、形成或是排列成。那么 male 在这边当形容词是形容男子的、男性的或是公的，它也可以当名词来指男性雄性动物。再来 record 是名词，表示唱片。Mike 老师刚刚在聊到歌唱选秀节目时提到说，有些参赛者啊，他们可能是喜剧演员、魔术师、杂耍表演者等等。老师说的 comedian 就是喜剧演员，还有 juggler 就是杂耍表演者。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
What do you do after being in one of the biggest pop bands in modern history? When the world-famous One Direction stopped performing together in 2016, singer Niall Horan faced this very question. Horan was born in Ireland in 1993. He was clearly blessed with musical talent from a young age. His family noticed this early on, and one time, his aunt even mistook his singing for the car's radio during a family road trip. As a child, Horan didn't want to let his talent go to waste. He learned guitar by watching YouTube videos at age 11 and felt he was ready for his big shot at age 16. In 2010, he appeared on the British singing show The X Factor. However, the judges felt that he was not quite ready to be a solo star. Instead, they asked him to form a group with 4 other male contestants. That group became the now legendary One Direction, which sold millions of records and performed 4 world tours before the band broke up in 2016.
Many people enjoy eating douhua which is also known as tofu pudding. I personally love it as well. Now, we love eating tofu pudding, but did you know that there's a special kind of tofu pudding in Chiayi? It's served with soy milk instead of sugar water. Sounds very interesting, right? So let's learn about it.
Douhua, or tofu pudding, is a popular dessert in Taiwan. It is often served with sugar water and sweet toppings. But, in Chiayi, douhua is served with soy milk. Douhua with soy milk originated in Chiayi. But no one knows how it got started. Some people say this idea came from the shops on Wenhua Road. Now, you can find shops selling douhua with soy milk almost everywhere in the Chiayi area. Douhua and soy milk are both made from soybeans. Douhua has a smooth, gelatinous appearance. Soy milk is white in color and rich in plant-based protein. Taking a bite of douhua is extremely refreshing. Douhua is very tender and pairs perfectly with soy milk. Eating a bowl of douhua with soy milk is the best way to cool off on a hot summer's day.
After learning about the special tofu pudding in Chiayi that is served with soy milk, I would definitely want to give it a try next time I visit Chiayi. Well, this is all the time we have for today, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.